Why do many older adults seem to struggle when they reach their 80s? Even if they were healthy and sharp before, many begin to experience a decline. While some might attribute this simply to genetics or luck, the reality is far more complex. In this video, we'll explore 5 often overlooked reasons, factors that rarely get attention, which help explain why older people often face difficulties maintaining their health and living long after 80. These reasons aren't about common factors like diet, exercise habits, or smoking. In fact, these are deeper, more subtle factors that even those who take the best care of themselves might miss. And importantly, when you understand these factors, you absolutely can change the situation. If you've ever wondered why longevity often declines after age 80 and how to avoid that, stay with me until the end of this video. These surprising reasons might just help you change how you age and maintain your health before it's too late. Let's get started. Reason number 1: loss of micro-social connections. One of the less noticed factors that profoundly affects health and longevity after age 80 is the loss of micro-social connections. This isn't about deep relationships like close friends or family gatherings, though those are still very important, but rather the small, meaningful interactions in daily life. You might be used to saying hello to the mail carrier, having a brief chat with the cashier at the grocery store, or simply waving to a neighbor walking their pet. These moments might seem insignificant, but they have a powerful effect in stimulating neural function, reinforcing a sense of connection, and keeping the social network in your brain active. However, as age increases, these activities gradually get neglected. Many older adults stop going to the grocery store themselves, instead ordering online or asking their children for help. They stop interacting with strangers due to hearing difficulties or no longer have the energy to walk outdoors because of health issues. When these small social interactions disappear, it's not just convenience that's reduced, but a loss of vitality. Interestingly, many people don't realize this change. They think they are simply cutting back on unnecessary activities. But in reality, they are eliminating interactions that stimulate the brain, boost mood, and remind the body that they are still part of society. These small actions don't need to be complicated. I've seen older people maintain their sharpness just by walking daily to their familiar coffee shop, meeting the staff and friends on the corner. Those few simple minutes of interaction are not just a habit, but a connecting thread that keeps them tied to the world around them. When those connections disappear, the brain responds with loneliness, a form of mental stress that increases inflammation and weakens the immune system. More importantly, the lack of social connection can impair memory, concentration, and emotional regulation. Simply put, it makes you feel older faster. So, if you notice yourself gradually stopping interacting with people, or no longer doing small things like saying hello, chatting back and forth, or even no longer feeling like you're part of a community, it's time for a change. Those seemingly small moments, even if not memorable, have a powerful effect in sending the message that you are still important. You are still part of the community. And that is one of the most powerful medicines for maintaining both physical and mental health throughout the aging process. Reason number 2: overly cautious inactivity. Another reason many people struggle to maintain health and longevity after 80 is becoming overly cautious, which initially might seem like wisdom. However, there's a very fine line between being careful and becoming too cautious. And once that line is crossed, the consequences don't happen immediately but accumulate over time. This process often starts with good intentions. For example, you might have slipped on the stairs once or felt unsteady walking on the sidewalk. And therefore, you decide to limit going out. You stop bending over to pick things up from below or climbing into the back seat of a car. You might even sit more and for longer periods. People around you might advise, "Don't push yourself," or "Take it easy," and you think you're doing a good thing to protect your health. But then, you realize you've created a safe life, but one that lacks momentum and is stagnant. This is what no one tells you. When activity decreases, strength decreases too, not just the muscles in your arms or legs, but also coordination, balance, and internal stability. The body is not a machine that needs rest to maintain efficiency, it's like a garden that needs regular tending. And when you reduce movement, things don't just stop, they begin to wither. One of the first areas affected is the core. Most people don't realize the importance of these deep muscles for basic activities like standing up, walking, lifting things, or even just sitting down. If unused, even for a few weeks, these muscles shrink, and when they shrink, your balance is affected, leading to wobbling and deepening this vicious cycle. I know a man named Walter, 82, who stopped his evening walks after slipping once on a rainy day. Although he didn't break any bones, the fall frightened him, and he decided to stop walking. Within 6 months, he lost 10 pounds of muscle, and his legs became weak. His doctor warned him, but by then, the damage was too far along. Walter didn't stop moving because he was weak, but because he stopped, and that's what made him weaker. I'm not advising you to ignore real risks. There are many smart ways to protect yourself, like using handrails, wearing stable shoes, clearing walkways, and even using a cane if necessary. However, there's a difference between managing risk and completely giving up on movement. When fear dictates your actions, the body forgets how to move. So, if you notice yourself doing less, not because you can't do it, but because you're afraid something will happen, it's time to pay attention. Ask yourself, am I protecting myself? Or am I slowly disappearing? Living long after 80 isn't just about avoiding accidents, but about maintaining movement, even if slower, more carefully, and with more intention. Movement is how the body remembers that it is still needed. It's how the body's systems function, how the brain stays alert, and how the heart continues to beat with purpose. If you find this information helpful, don't forget to leave comment number 2 below the video so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us create better content to continue providing you with information and inspiration. Now, let's continue. Reason number 3. Disrupted sleep due to inconsistent light exposure. Your body has an internal clock, a circadian rhythm that controls everything, from your mood, metabolism, and immune system, to how your brain repairs itself at night. But as age increases, especially after 80, this clock becomes more sensitive than ever. One of the main reasons circadian rhythms get disrupted is the lack of natural light during the day and too much artificial light at night. You might not notice immediately, but some small changes in habits can greatly affect sleep quality. For instance, you might have started sleeping more during the day, or often sit indoors when it's cold. You might also turn on the TV or leave the lights on at night when reading or watching movies. These habits might seem harmless, but combined, they confuse the body about when to be awake and when to rest. The body relies on natural light to maintain its circadian rhythm. Daylight helps wake up the brain, energizes the body, and starts the day. At night, darkness triggers the production of melatonin, a hormone that helps the body relax and prepare for deep sleep. However, when there's a lack of natural light during the day or interference from artificial light at night, these biological signals are disrupted. As a result, you might have difficulty falling asleep, or your sleep might not be deep and sustained. You might wake up feeling tired, Even after getting 8 hours of sleep, energy levels might drop throughout the day, or memory might become hazier than usual. Gradually, this disruption doesn't just affect energy but also weakens the immune system, reduces the ability to regulate mood, and even increases the risk of cognitive decline. Additionally, an important issue is vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is produced by your body when your skin is exposed to sunlight. But after 80, the ability to synthesize vitamin D through the skin significantly decreases. This means that exposure to natural light becomes more important than ever. Vitamin D deficiency can negatively affect bones, muscles, and the immune system. I once spoke to a woman named Helen, 84, who felt tired and disoriented, although her blood test results were very good and her diet hadn't changed. She still didn't feel well. Her doctor advised her to sit near a window for 20 minutes every morning, open the curtains, and avoid screen light for at least an hour before bed. After 2 weeks, her sleep improved, her memory was clearer, and her mood became more positive. It wasn't a medication, it was natural light. So, if you've been spending too much time indoors with the curtains closed, or if your nights are dominated by light from the TV or phone, it's time for a change. Try to get outside for at least 20 minutes in the morning after waking up. Even if you just stand on the porch, let your eyes and skin be exposed to daylight. In the evening, dim the lights and limit screens so your body can prepare for sleep. These small changes don't just help improve sleep, but also help the body maintain organization and synchronization. Because what many people don't realize is that the body doesn't just age from wear and tear, but also from disorganization, when the body's systems don't work in harmony. Bringing organization back into your circadian rhythm and sleep schedule is a way to maintain the health and vitality of your body, even when you're over 80. Reason number 4: suppressed emotions from loss and isolation. As many people enter their 80s, they have experienced losses that younger people can hardly imagine: losing a spouse, siblings, close friends, and even children. Although the world around may offer sympathy, few acknowledge that these losses accumulate over time, not just lingering in memory but also affecting the body. One of the things very few people pay attention to is that after 80, there's not only grief but also the suppression of emotions. This is an unrecognized habit, an automatic way of swallowing down sadness without expressing it, or forcing oneself to appear strong because they think they are used to this by now, or because no one truly understands everything they've been through. But the truth is, the body does not forget. When sadness is not shared, not processed, it doesn't disappear but is stored in the body. Over time, this suppression affects the body's internal systems, especially the immune system, digestive system, and sleep. It changes hormone levels, putting the nervous system in a constant state of stress that might not be immediately noticeable. And the most difficult thing is that it happens silently. You might still look calm, even say you're okay, but if you feel a slight heaviness in your shoulders, shallower breathing, or the spark within you seems dimmer, it could be a sign of unresolved sadness, even if you haven't spoken about it for many years. I remember a man named George, 86, who lost his wife of 60 years. He didn't cry much, saying it wasn't his way, and he insisted he was fine. However, within a year, he lost weight, stopped going to the senior center, and began having trouble sleeping. Not because of illness, but because his body was carrying grief that had never been released. This shows that emotional pain doesn't need to be grand or dramatic to cause harm. When this sadness accumulates in the body, the connection isn't always obvious. The most important thing that helps many people live healthily after 80 is not just physical health, but the ability to release emotions. They need a way to express sadness, fear, or feelings of loneliness without being judged. That could be a trusted friend, a journal, a community, or a therapist who helps them unravel the deep-seated emotions accumulated over decades. The reason is simple: what is expressed can change and heal, while what is buried will gradually decay. So, if you've been holding something inside, not because you want to but because you don't know what to do with it, create space for your emotions. Not just for yourself, but for your life. The heart has limits and can only carry a certain weight before it starts to shut down. If you want to live healthily after 80, not just breathe but live, you must allow your heart to feel and express. If you find these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create good content to inspire and provide you with useful information. Let's keep going. Reason number 5, gradual loss of daily purpose. One of the most significant factors affecting health and longevity after age 80 is the gradual loss of daily purpose. This isn't philosophical life purpose, but simple routines, the reasons you wake up in the morning with something to do, somewhere to go, or someone to see. This purpose can be small things: watering the plants in the morning, feeding the neighbor's cat, writing a letter to a grandchild, or fixing a door hinge. When these routines start to disappear, when each morning arrives with no reason to get out of bed and the evening brings nothing to reflect on, something within you begins to quietly shut down. The body responds to your mind. And when the mind sees no reason to move forward, the body automatically follows suit. Appetite decreases, movements become slower, and health-regulating systems begin to silence. Not because they are broken, but because they are waiting for a reason to become active again. This is a very difficult change to notice because it happens gradually. Perhaps a weekly gathering with friends gets cancelled. The church group no longer meets, or your family visits less often. You tell yourself it's normal, part of aging, but deep down, you might feel the days becoming repetitive, each day quieter than the last. I once met a woman named Bella, 80, who had more energy than most people much younger than her. She wasn't wealthy, didn't have perfect health, and didn't live with a large family. But she had one thing she never lacked: routine. Every Monday, she wrote postcards to people who were sick from her church. Every Thursday, she made soup and froze it to send to the homeless shelter. Every afternoon, she sat by the window at 4 o'clock to watch the neighborhood kids come home from school. She knew each of their names, and they would wave back at her. These things might not be spectacular, but they created the texture of her day, giving rhythm to her life. This is a secret few people will share with you: the body will continue to live as long as it has a reason to do so. Purpose, even the smallest, is like fuel that sustains life. It tells the cells in the body to keep working, the organs to keep functioning, the brain to keep learning. When you lose that sense, when you feel you are no longer important to someone or something, the flame within you gradually dims. So, people who live healthy lives after 80 aren't doing so because they have great health or a perfect life. They have something that keeps their days meaningful. It could be a garden, a pet, a journal, a daily habit, or even just a morning phone call or a simple prayer. What matters isn't the scale of these activities, but their consistency, knowing that each morning when you wake up, you have a reason to continue. If you feel your days are losing their shape or meaning, don't dismiss that feeling. It's not just sadness, it's a signal. Your body is asking for a rhythm back, asking for structure, asking for connection and purpose. Ultimately, longevity isn't just about the heart still beating. but about the heart still wanting to beat. That desire, however quiet, is what helps people get through their 80s and live a full life. Finally, I want to share a simple but powerful truth. Most people don't fall into decline after 80 because of one specific event. It's not a fall or a diagnosis, but the gradual loss of routines, rhythms, and reasons to engage with life. These changes are so subtle, so gradual, that you don't notice until something inside feels a loss of vitality. But the good news is, just as these changes happen slowly, you can also reverse them step by step. One walk outside, one conversation with someone in the store, one stretching exercise in the morning. These small actions can help you rebuild rhythm and connection. So, think back on the reasons we shared in this video. Which one surprised you? Which one felt familiar? And more importantly, which one are you willing to act on today? Because the truth is, you have more power than you think. Not to stop aging, but to change how you age. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below and let us know what you will apply in your life. Your support helps us continue creating valuable and inspiring content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.